Good morning. I'm actually sat inside my twig house. Is that a spider I see over there? Look. You can always see that spider's weaving its web. Look. How cool is that? In yon twig house, as you can see, the foliage dropped off. So it does need, which I knew was going to happen, but it's quite... See, that's the window, but obviously the whole thing is a bit of a window. I mean, I kind of half did it, went on holiday, came back, and I've done little bits, but doing it in the autumn is a very different scenario. And now the spiders are here. I don't really want to stop them doing their thing. Where's it gone, that spider? There it is. So I can watch the spider. See if I can. Just sat there. Odd looking. Anyway. What the hell is going on there? Is it just a leaf? It's a fucking leaf. What the fuck is it? Is it? Oh no. No, it is a spider. But it's a lot closer than I thought it was. Oh, there it is. It's just a spider sat in the middle of its web. That's all it is. It's just really close, so it looks weird. I thought it was in that back web. So I was like, the scale made it look super weird, like some sort of weird tulip spider, but actually it's just a spider that's really close up. As you can see, I can just see the rings of its web. Anyway, I thought I would do a video about the things I was thinking about, which were, I was asking some questions in that stream and I thought it was really interesting, some of the things that came up, and I also wanted to, that was it, I was just looking back and I was like counting up the days, because I'd been a bit shit with the counting of the days of my Creep Chronicles, because some of them weren't quite classed as the Creep Chronicles. I stopped counting when I was doing stuff to do with Albert and talking to other people. So I left the Creep Chronicles bit out, because it really wasn't, because they're the creeps like Ricardo, Hughie and Evil, and Ron. a bit, not really though. And although he is a weirdo, but I already knew that about him, so. And I saw it was been 20 days. 20 days! I mean, it's been going for ages. It's been going for donkey's years, but since I came back and started saying something. Oh look, something just landed in the web. What is that? Is it a leaf? Oh, it's going for it, look. It's going for it. Go on, love. Go on, lad. Lass. There'll be a lass. Oh, I don't think that's a fly, mate. Or is it? Is it, or is it a leaf? What have we got there? Oh, it is a fly, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is. Goddamn horsefly, I think. Oh, these phones, man, you can't. That's a bit better, isn't it? Slightly. Yeah, 20 days. 20 days since I said something, and there's been a change, hasn't there? There's been a change in behaviours. I mean, I've only seen 10 minutes of that stream of Ricardo's, and I haven't seen the one after it. But there has been another break. That's all I can really comment on. Normally there's been a couple of streams by now, so that's a positive sign, isn't it? But it just makes you realise that it just takes a few, and in those 20 days I haven't done that much. A couple of streams, I think I counted it up like maybe 3 or 4 streams, a few videos, one every day I tried to do, which is why I thought, oh, I ain't done one of those for a bit, so I'll do this. And yeah, just doing the streams when I want to, because I've got that stuff, and obviously it's something that happened, and I'm not just gonna not comment on that, because then, you know, in life shit like that happens, or people shit on you and things like that. Maybe not to this extent, because you don't hang around that long, but there's not much of a comeback sometimes, a lot of the time, like this guy in the web here. But in the old World Wide Web, this string is attached to a load of other shit, and it sends off signals and it gives feedback. So maybe as you're being eaten by yon spider, which, you know, would be, well, from the reason why how I ended up, as I was saying, through lockdown and all that stuff, I would have considered, not bothered. Maybe it wasn't a fly. It looked like a fly. Or did it escape? What the fuck was that? Fuck. I hope it didn't land on me. What's going on? He's coming for me instead. Oh, he's not happy. Not happy. Back in the middle. Get back in the middle there. Back in control. That's one pissed off spider. That's one, that was an alt, wasn't it? It was like me getting fooled by QE yesterday. So maybe the World Wide Web does have a point. Maybe there is a reason to, you know, to sit here and, while they're eating you, at least be pulling on their strings just for a laugh. Because look what happened here, whatever that was, escaped or was thrown away. And anyway, I did watch the Sam Vaknin from yesterday, and it was amazing, and I definitely recommend. It had a lot of answers in it. Especially, it gave me a lot to think about regarding my questions about Ron and his obsession with Vic. And I do recommend watching it. And Ron, if you want to watch that, I do recommend you watch it, because it gave me understanding for you. And from what it seems like it is, it's just a need to belong. It's just a really strong need to belong. And obviously I was not the way to achieve that, was I? So you ended up getting pushed into a load of shit, which I'm sure you'll never admit, and you're more than happy to be part of. It's not like you haven't got your own mind and stuff like that, but I do think that for some reason you had an extra strong need to belong. And that's why it's focused on Vic, potentially, because that's what gives me the indication that it's that as a primary thing with you, because it's different. It seems different to the other people in the situation. And with it being so focused on Vic when no one else is doing that, like, no, Vic's not massively on anyone's radar, no one's got any reason to attack him, but you always did, and I wonder why. But I do think the fact that we were in that in-group, so to speak, at the beginning, which was just out of just, I think I did need something, because he was saying about the groups and getting security from security in numbers and things like that. Yes, I did need something, because at that time it was just after Evil had just fucking absconded completely, and that was that. And he was off doing something. He was off doing the AI stuff, and he'd just gone. But I think he was still there a bit, but he was like pretending like, but we were all still around, you know what I mean? He was still streaming, and he wouldn't come out and say anything, and it was just, I can't remember whether I asked him if he was all right or not. I can't remember, but he just ignored me. And I was just thinking, well, we had all these plans and we were still being attacked, and we were in the full throes of the war. I was getting so much stuff from Dean. Oh, look, here comes another one, another potential prey. She's just going to clean it out of her web, I think. She knows that's not anything, surely. She's just getting rid of it, cutting it out. Cool, innit? That's what you need to do. And that's what I didn't do yesterday. Look at her, she's taking it away. That's so cool. What's she going to do with it, I wonder? Lost my train of thought. That is fucking cool though. Take a leaf out of that spider's book, shouldn't I? And anyway, yeah, so I was in need of getting myself back on track and having belonging in that community, because I'd been separated, I suppose, by I did reach out to Evil, I suppose, out of a need for belonging, similar to Rom. And I wanted to help him because I saw good in that community and I saw good in that group, and I mistakenly attributed that to Evil, and I saw how those guys were being, and I mistakenly overvalued their negativity, which I did already kind of come across that I did kind of say, I don't know if it was projection or something, but then again, those guys were just being dickheads, and so, but I was just not noticing the rest of the dickheadery, I think, that was going around. Or anyway, watch that video anyway for that. But there was just us three, and Carl, wasn't there? And Carl was there, and we all just kind of got on with each other. And I don't know, and how long did it last? A few weeks. I was on holiday. It was like last summer. I was on holiday. There was stuff going on with Carl, and that's what kind of brought everyone together or everyone apart. I can't even... Then they came back. So we were all sort of mates and talking. We must have been talking somewhere, but it wasn't in the Discord. We were in the Discord, but Evil wasn't, and neither was Tommy, were they? And then that was for a while, and we were still knocking around on the streams and all that. And at Carl's, wasn't it? At Carl's, a lot of stuff was going off. And then, because the whole light and the dark and all that stuff, shining the light on people and using them as a glory hole and all that. So then Carl did that. Then Evil disappeared properly and didn't talk to me for ages, weirdly, because of the VIP stream with Carl. And then when I was in the field of goths, and then I just carried on with this Discord. I just did this Discord then, and carried on with the idea that I'd had, which was to make a Discord. And I wasn't going to let the fact that Evil had decided to just abscond going to change what I was going to do. And my plan was to have an open thing where everybody could have conversation. And originally I was going to possibly start streaming and just stream, very similar to what Red Bull did. And that was my thing, because my original video at the very beginning was my washing machine video, and I was just going to get like a washing machine cycle on or something, and then just leave the chat up for people to chat in, because at the time everything was really fragmented, and there was still the Darius stuff and the white man's North Korea and all that, and there was a lot, and that changed the way everyone was interacting at that time, pre-Slotham. Although Slotham might have been around, but it was Slotham really having I would say he brought people together, or at least freed people to say, well, definitely with me, it helped me be free, just by having a place that showed an open mind in a place where you'd just been that was just the way it was for ages. I've been through that before, in way more detail, and would go into that in more detail in the future. But I'm just talking about in general where I was at from that. And so I was wanting to make an open space where everyone could talk and shout or whatever, and that was what that Discord was. But those guys then came in later on. But it was me and Ron and Carl and Vic for a good while. And so I wonder if that's got some connection as to why Ron's obsessed with Vic, because of that in-group that we were all kind of affiliated with, and he had that need for belonging, and that was his first... Well, Evil would have been his first... Well, Darius, from this train of belonging route that you go down in, like, whatever this particular internet corner cultish place is. So you go through Darius as a need for belonging, and it really was, wasn't it? And the Darius army and all that stuff, and the pitting everyone against each other and whatever. Carla was at Rick's, definitely. So there was that level of belonging, and that really was a nurturing environment, in my opinion, and was the thing that made the grey area and made it appealing, because the grey area was fucking cool. That was the dojo, that was the start of the dojo idea, and getting something nourishing from it. And then Darius did his own version of it, which as turns out is like a giant fucking 15-year-old creepathon. And I suppose you're attracting that sort of person, obviously, over that time. So that's going up as well at the same time as you're going down your little rabbit hole of communication and joining up with people, until we got to Discord, and it was us. So just interesting anyway. I do recommend that people watch that one. It was really, really interesting, especially when it got to the psychopath and the narcissist joining. And I know he was saying it as like whatever the word would be, like an example or something, but I was just thinking the psychopath and the narcissist, and there was literally those two people came and turned up that day. As in Evil and Tommy. So it's just funny. It was just like, oh, the doctor and the felon. It's just funny as fuck. So anyway, I did do a video, and I will do the rest of that reaction at some point, because it just gave me loads, just even that 10 minutes. So yeah, 20 days in.